Hello everyone! Hello grade 6! I am teacher Mary Ann and welcome to our math class. In today's video, we will be discussing the second topic of our quarter 2, week 2 in our activity sheets. Solve problems involving direct proportion. In the first instructional video in mathematics that we have watched, we have learned the definition of proportion, same as true on the different ways on how to write proportion. Just a simple reminder, if you have not yet watched the first video, you better watch it first before you proceed to this topic. As such, when we say proportion, it is a name that we give to a statement that two ratios are equal. It can be written in two ways. First is by means of colon, and second is by two equal fractions. Now let's move further and study in proportion. We have what we call direct proportion. In this case, if there is an increase in quantity, there is also a constant increase in other quantity. Likewise, if the quantity is being decreased, it corresponds a constant decrease also in other quantity. Just like the examples given. The more you eat, the more you grow. The lesser the number of items you buy, the lesser the amount to pay. Next also are the other examples for you to understand well what direct proportion is. I hope that through these examples, you can be able to distinguish well what direct proportion is. Other examples, the slower the speed, the lesser the distance. The more number of persons, the more food is required. Another examples for you to understand well what direct proportion is. Say for an instance, there is one box of pizza that can feed 3 people. Now the question is, how many boxes of pizza will be needing in order to feed 12 people? Therefore, this situation is direct proportion. Simply because as the number of people increases, the number of boxes of pizza need to increase either. Representation is 1:3 is equals to blank is to 12. So what are we going to do? We have to multiply first 1 by 12, then after getting the product, we have to divide it to 3. And the correct answer is 4. I have given also an example on how to check our answer based on the illustration. To check if your answer is correct, the product of the first and the fourth terms, or what we call the extreme, should be equal to the product of the second and third terms, or what we call means. Now let's try a word problem. At this point, we have to analyze first if the problem expresses a direct proportion. What do you think? Correct! It is a direct proportion because the more Sundays Madel sells oranges, the more earnings she will have definitely. After identifying what is asked in the problem, now let's move on how to solve for this. There are two ways on how to solve the problem. First, by means of colon, and second is by means of fraction. In colon, as shown in the illustration, we have 4:550 and blank is to 2,200. 4 and the missing number represent the number of Sundays, while 550 and 2,200 represent earnings. The first thing to do is that we have to multiply 4 by 2,200. So 4 times 2,200 is 8,800. Then for us to know the missing number, the second step is to divide 8,800 to 550. And the answer would be 16. Therefore, the correct answer is 16. Madel needs to sell oranges for 16 Sundays for her to earn 2,200. Now on the other side, as you can see, we have there a representation for us to know if our answers are correct. To check if your answer is correct, the product of the first and fourth terms, or what we call extremes, should be equal to the product of the second and third terms, or what we call means. In fraction form, it can be seen that in the first given fraction, we have 4/550, whereas the numerator is 4 as a total number of Sundays, and the denominator is 550 as a total earnings of Madel within 4 Sundays. Now let's take a look on the second fraction. The numerator is missing, represented by letter N that denotes the number of Sundays earned, and the denominator is 2,200 as the earnings. Now, for solution, we have to multiply 4 by 2,200, after which the product should be divided to 550. Therefore, the answer is 16. Now, in checking the answers, we do cross multiplication. As such, we have 4 times 2,200 is equal to 8,800, and 550 times 6 is equals to 8,800. And since the answers are the same, therefore our answer is correct. I am pretty sure at this point of time, guys, you are now ready to answer the activity for these lessons. You now have a clear understanding of the topic as well. Thank you for listening and watching. This ends your learning session for Quarter 2, Week 2, second competency of your activity sheet. I hope you enjoy learning the lesson with me. Goodbye! Oops! But before that, I just want to leave a simple quote for you guys. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. By Anthony J.D. Angelo. Thank you and have a nice day.